If these words have found their way to you, I want you to know something with complete certainty. This isn't some random algorithm mistake, and it definitely isn't coincidence. This is the universe answering a question your soul has been quietly asking. Somewhere in that part of your heart where doubt started creeping in, there's something waiting for you today. Something you need to hear right now, before that hesitation you're feeling turns into giving up entirely. I know you've kept quiet about it. I know you've been going through the motions, acting like this chapter has closed, trying hard to convince yourself you've already moved past it. But underneath all of that, there's a question that won't let you rest, an uncertainty that keeps chipping away at your peace of mind. And this question about where this connection is headed can only be answered by something bigger than you, the plan the universe already has in motion. That answer is arriving now with a kind of clarity you won't be able to brush aside anymore. Let go of the idea that you're blowing this out of proportion. What you're feeling isn't manufactured or exaggerated. You are not loving into empty space, and you're not carrying this alone. The bond connecting you to this person is genuine. It didn't form in the mind, it formed in the soul. This isn't some passing impulse, it carries real, profound meaning. Here's what you need to hold on to above everything else. Today, the universe is confirming that giving up isn't the answer. You're standing right at the edge of something that has been in the works for both of you for a long time. You have no idea how much is happening behind the scenes on your behalf right now. That sense that something is shifting isn't your imagination playing tricks on you. The fact that this story keeps living inside you, that their name refuses to fade from your thoughts, that your heart keeps circling back to them, none of that points to dependency or obsession. It's a sign. It's a feeling you couldn't fake even if you tried, because it belongs to something with real purpose behind it, something that distance, time, and silence simply can't erase. So the first real step you need to take today is this. Stop treating distance as though it means failure. In reality, physical distance is nothing more than an illusion, because the energetic connection between the two of you is more alive now than it's ever been. Your souls remain in constant contact with each other. There's an invisible thread tying you together. That feeling of emptiness you carry around is actually a reflection of the other person feeling your absence too. That absence is simply a tool that destiny is using right now. This person holds your name somewhere deep inside them. Even if they pull away or hide behind their own fears, the universe sees straight through whatever they're trying to conceal from the world and from themselves. So don't abandon something that entered your life carrying this much meaning. This kind of love isn't a passing whim. It comes from somewhere far more spiritual, far more divine than ordinary attraction. In just a moment, you'll recognize the first clear confirmation that their soul is actively reaching out to yours right now. But before that makes sense to you, you first need to understand what's unfolding in the unseen realm. The key to keeping this story alive isn't found in what you do outwardly. It lives in your inner certainty. Stay steady, not because you're impatiently waiting for something, but because you deeply trust that whatever belongs to you was never going to walk away for good. What destiny has joined together cannot be broken apart. Trust your intuition. That feeling telling you the love hasn't disappeared. That's the only truth you need to hold on to right now. Understand this. There is someone out there who genuinely loves you, someone thinking about you far more often than they'd ever admit out loud. And this is only where it begins. If you're ready to let this sink in and become part of your reality, drop a heart in the comments below. Now that you've recognized your intuition isn't lying to you, it's time to move past doubt and step into real understanding, an awareness of the invisible layer of reality surrounding you. Despite the silence, despite the physical distance, you are not walking through this alone. What you're feeling isn't some trick your mind is playing, it's a truth that has been planted deep within you. If the universe brought the two of you together, crossed your paths deliberately, and placed within you a conviction you simply cannot shake, then this purpose goes beyond ordinary human logic. Maybe you've felt like this connection asks more of you than it gives back, or like you're clinging to something that's slipping through your fingers. That's just a distortion of perception, nothing more. The truth is, you're being guided, and the universe would never plant a love this significant in your heart, only to abandon you without any direction forward. When your heart keeps circling back to the same place over and over, it's not because your mind is deceiving you, it's because there's a bond here that didn't come from impulse, it came directly from the soul. What you're feeling is real, and this purpose cannot be destroyed by silence or by distance. So the real question becomes, why does this story continue to live inside you? Why won't their name fade away? Why hasn't this connection broken? The answer is simple. Because it's more alive than you've allowed yourself to believe. Anything that belongs to you on an energetic level cannot simply vanish. What destiny has united cannot be torn apart by misunderstandings or by pauses in communication. So this feeling inside you that refuses to let go of the memory, that isn't weakness. It's your soul confirming over and over that this love belongs to you. There's a significant, almost unbridgeable gap between what your eyes take in and what your soul perceives underneath. What your eyes see is only the surface, someone who looks distant, cold, maybe even indifferent. But the universe is telling you not to be fooled by that surface. Underneath it all, this person is carrying feelings that have your name written all over them. Love like this doesn't always express itself in logical, obvious ways. Sometimes it hides, sometimes it puts up blocks or defenses to protect itself out of a fear of losing everything. This person thinks about you far more often than they'd ever confess. They feel your absence, your energy, your silence. They notice it when your name comes up in conversation, when a memory resurfaces unexpectedly, or when they scroll past a photo they can't bring themselves to delete. They carry an emptiness they can't quite put into words. And even if you've convinced yourself they've moved on, they haven't. Even if you think they feel nothing toward you, that's not true either. Even if you assume they've forgotten you completely, they haven't. Some feelings come back around, some memories leave an ache behind, and certain signs just keep following a person. There are moments when they pause right in the middle of an ordinary day, just to think about you. The universe has been present for every single one of those moments. But let's get specific here. How can you actually know this connection is genuinely active right now? If this person feels your absence, how does that show up in your reality, in your body? The first tangible sign that this connection is alive and active is a kind of emotional telepathy. This person isn't absent because they don't love you. They're absent because they don't know how to handle the sheer intensity of what they're feeling. Some souls love so deeply that, ironically, they become afraid, they freeze up, or they pull back briefly just to catch their breath. So while you sit there wondering why everything seems to have ground to a halt, the universe is showing you that in truth, nothing has actually stopped. If anything, this person's emotions are moving with more force than ever before, just in secret. Somewhere you can't see them, but somewhere, destiny is already quietly at work. This internal movement has a direct impact on your own energy and shows up through symptoms you've probably been dismissing as random stress or coincidence. When this person is thinking about you intensely, their energy travels along that soul thread and reaches all the way to you. It might show up as sudden sadness or an unexplainable heaviness with no clear cause anywhere in your everyday life. That's their longing you're feeling, the echo of their own regret bleeding into your emotional field. You assume it's your own sadness, but really it belongs to them. Another common sign is a sudden, unavoidable memory surfacing. In the most unexpected moments, their face or a shared memory will pop into your mind with such clarity that you actually pause what you're doing. That's not random chance. It's the universe confirming what your intuition already knew deep down. The connection isn't broken on their end, you're on their mind far more than you realize. That's their soul sending the thought directly to you. This connection can also show up physically, an unexplained warmth or a light burning feeling across your face or chest, right at the exact moments when they're thinking of you with tenderness or longing. That's their love reaching you energetically. When fear takes over and they withdraw into themselves, you might feel a sudden chill or a hollow feeling in your stomach, almost like your energy briefly got pulled away from you. Another very specific sign is music suddenly becoming meaningful again. You hear a song the two of you once shared, or a completely new song that somehow reminds you of them out of nowhere. That's not coincidence either. It's the universe using sound as a bridge, reminding you the connection is still very much alive, and that this person feels it powerfully too. When they hear your name and something stirs in them, that vibration travels across the distance and resonates within you as well. There are nights when they think about you right before drifting off to sleep, and days when a random memory of you tightens something in their chest. Even when they stay quiet, trying to appear unaffected, the universe knows the truth. They can't bring themselves to say out loud. So if your intuition has felt sharper than usual lately, if you sense something shifting on a deeper spiritual level, even on the days you swore you'd finally let go, pay attention to that feeling. It's not dependency, and it's not obsession. It's clarity. The universe is showing you, through these small signs, that this love is still alive, that invisible threads connect your hearts, and that thoughts are traveling between you without needing a single word. The love this person carries for you cannot simply be switched off like a light. It's a love fighting against itself, trying to make sense of what feels senseless, trying to resist what feels impossible to resist. Your presence has left a mark on their soul so deep that they can't even fully admit it to themselves yet. And that is exactly why you shouldn't give up. Now that we've established your feelings aren't imaginary, but are actually confirmed by the energy flowing between you two, an obvious question comes up. Why is this bond so resilient that neither time nor distance manages to erase it? The answer lies in what's known as a destiny plan, or what's referred to spiritually as a soul agreement. You need to understand that this connection isn't some accident. It was never just a casual encounter or a fleeting attraction that dissolves the moment things get difficult. This connection is the result of something much bigger, a soul pact made on a higher level long before you ever crossed paths in this physical world. It's an agreement built around growth, awakening, and shared purpose. When two souls are bound by a destiny plan like this, the underlying energy won't allow a final, permanent separation until the lesson or purpose behind the connection has been fully realized. That's exactly why every attempt either of you makes to let go or forget just keeps failing. And honestly, that failure is undeniable proof that this connection is the real thing. What's simply human can be broken. What's destined resists breaking. The universe would never allow something this important to your spiritual growth to slip away just because one of you got scared. The love you feel for this person isn't some emotion that distance has the power to destroy. It doesn't come from a human decision. It comes from somewhere higher than that. The reason their name refuses to leave your mind, no matter how hard you've tried to make it happen, is because your soul is honoring this agreement. It's like an energetic anchor keeping you tethered to this truth. When the connection remains, when the memory keeps vibrating and won't fade, it's because the universe keeps reminding you, again and again, of how real this bond actually is. This is destiny's way of telling you to stay centered, to trust that this whole process is being handled, that the synchronicity is under control. There's something essential to understand about how a destiny plan operates. Within it, there's no confusion, only necessary pauses along the way. The universe would never place you in a situation where your heart gets hurt for no reason. If there's silence right now, that doesn't mean it's over. It's simply an energetic phase of reorganization happening behind the scenes. Destiny is working on the other person right now so they can eventually return to you stronger, whole, and far more certain than before. It doesn't want you receiving someone who's only halfway ready, and it doesn't want you stuck living in a constant state of fear and restlessness either. That's why this bond doesn't snap. It stretches, it loosens temporarily, but the core of the connection stays intact, guaranteeing that you'll find your way back to each other at exactly the right moment. What feels to you like an unbearable, endless weight is, in truth, precisely the amount of time this other person needs to heal their layers and fulfill this soul contract with the maturity it requires. The silence that's been hurting and confusing you isn't indifference. It's actually the complete opposite. On an energetic level, it's overload. To really understand why this person has pulled back, we need to look at the anatomy of that silence and what's actually happening inside them. This person is dealing with an emotional intensity they simply don't know how to manage. You, through your sensitivity and spiritual awareness, have the tools to grasp the depth of this bond. They, on the other hand, haven't reached that same level of development yet. The sheer magnitude of this love, the strength of this connection, and the certainty that you're the person they've been searching for their whole life has triggered something like an energetic shock inside them. Their silence is really an expression of a deep fear of vulnerability. Like an injured wild animal retreating to lick its wounds, they've pulled inward to try to understand what's happening, to protect themselves from something that feels too powerful for them to handle. This pause is their attempt to make sense of something that doesn't fit neatly into logic. They believe that distance, silence, and ignoring this connection might somehow reduce its intensity, might hand them back a sense of control over their own emotions. But the universe is telling you that this behavior reflects a misunderstanding on their part, not a lack of love. Silence is simply the sound of their fear. And that fear runs so deep because this connection with you is the truest, most profound thing they've ever experienced. They're not afraid of you. They're afraid of the sheer force of their own feelings. They're terrified that if they surrender completely and it doesn't work out, the pain of losing it would be unbearable. So instead, they choose to retreat before the connection has a chance to grow even stronger inside them. Right now, they're fighting against their own nature. Their wounded ego whispering things like, protect yourself, keep your distance, don't trust this. And then there's their soul, the part calling out your name, longing for closeness with you. Silence has become the battlefield where this internal fight is playing out. But the universe isn't sitting idle during all of this. Within that silence, a force is building with so much power that this person eventually won't be able to avoid facing it. Destiny keeps creating circumstances that constantly remind them of exactly what they've lost or put on pause. The absence of your energy feels to them like a burning kind of emptiness that nothing and no one else seems able to fill. Every attempt they make to fill that void with distractions, other people, other things, only makes them realize more clearly how powerful this connection really was and still is. So the next time you're tempted to read their silence as a lack of love or as indifference, pause for a moment. That silence is actually proof of their internal struggle. It's the anatomy of a heart being nudged by the universe to heal old wounds before it can meet you the way you truly deserve to be met. To help this connection heal and to let destiny carry out its purpose, you need to understand exactly what they're fighting against. Their distance and their silence aren't acts of not loving you. They're expressions of an ego armor built up over years and years. An armor the universe is now slowly dissolving, one layer at a time. This armor is the single biggest barrier keeping them from moving forward. But the love you embody, so vast, so pure, so unconditional, acts like a mirror reflecting their own inner light back at them. For souls that have experienced past wounds and betrayal, seeing themselves reflected that clearly can feel deeply frightening. In those moments, the ego's protective wall reacts instinctively, trying to shield them from pain that's long since passed but is still very much feared by their emotional memory. The real source of their fear isn't rooted in the future. It's rooted in the past, in the worry that this powerful connection could end the same way previous experiences did, in disappointment, loss, or abandonment. That's exactly why the universe is walking them through a deep inner transformation right now, something close to a dark night of the soul, where they're forced to confront their fears, their old wounds, and patterns they never fully resolved. This phase of silence and apparent isolation is necessary for them to recognize their own shadow side, heal what needs healing, and finally release the weight they've been carrying from the past. The universe is stripping away their ability to run, forcing them to face themselves and see the truth of what they actually feel. This darkness isn't a curse. It's a purification process, one that strips away old beliefs and defense mechanisms layer by layer. When they do return, it shouldn't come from a place of need, but from a place of inner wholeness. You represent both healing and challenge for them, medicine and exception, all at once. Their ego resists, but somewhere underneath, their soul recognizes that the love coming from you is too powerful to keep living in denial about. Destiny is showing them, unmistakably, that no defense mechanism, no amount of control can withstand the power of a connection born from something bigger than either of you. This period of separation, though, isn't one-sided. While the universe works on healing their fears, it's also healing yours. You're learning how to love without disappearing into someone else, how to stay calm without needing their presence to feel okay, and how to trust even when there's no visible proof in front of you. Destiny is shaping both of you at once, them into someone braver, and you into someone calmer. The universe has already shown you that reunion is part of the bigger divine plan. But how quickly it unfolds depends heavily on how solidly you stand in your own faith. Doubt slows everything down, while certainty speeds it up. Every ounce of lack, fear, or impatience you send out energetically signals that you're not quite ready yet to receive what's meant for you. But when you settle into genuine certainty, that energy becomes magnetic. It draws things in without needing to force anything. So speak your faith out loud, because words carry real creative power. When you declare with full conviction that your soul trusts in the manifestation of this destiny, you're sending a clear, unmistakable signal to the universe. This act of trust isn't just some empty ritual. It's a genuine reordering of your internal frequency. You break the chains that doubt has wrapped around you, and you open the door to manifestation. From here on out, your job isn't passive waiting, it's conscious release. The law of magnetic detachment teaches that real attraction comes from a place of calm. Those who chase end up pushing things away. Those who trust end up drawing things closer. If you try to force this connection through fear, control, or constant worry, you unknowingly create resistance that blocks the very energy you're trying to invite in. But when you let go, you stay open. Letting go doesn't mean giving up on the love itself. It means trusting that it will make its way back to you freely, on its own terms, with the maturity it needs, at exactly the right time. To trust, in this sense, means fully believing that the universe, which already placed this love on your path in the first place, understands better than you do when and how the two of you are meant to come back together. To genuinely put this law into practice, you have to stop chasing this person energetically. That kind of pursuit doesn't just happen through actions, it happens through your thoughts, your expectations, and emotional fixation. Every time you check their social media, wait anxiously for a message, or pour all your focus into what they are or aren't doing, you're shifting your own power toward lack and uncertainty. The spiritual practice of detachment asks you to bring your energy back home, back to your own center, your own life, your own growth, your own peace. When you start raising your vibration without needing outside validation to feel whole, you transform into something magnetic. The universe sees you at peace, confident in your own path, radiating your own light. That frequency sends out a clear message: I am whole, I am abundant, and whatever belongs to me will find its way to me without any forcing required. This inner state is exactly what the other soul senses during their own dark night, when they're longing for some kind of light to guide them. Your sense of balance creates a kind of magnetic vacuum that naturally pulls them back toward you. Once you stop projecting pressure and fear outward, the true resonance of the soul connection starts working the way it's meant to, pure and free of resistance. They don't come back out of pity or because you've somehow controlled the outcome. They come back because your energy has become so clear, so strong, that their soul genuinely has no choice but to reconnect with yours. That's the whole essence of magnetic letting go, releasing something in order to attract it. But to really grasp why the universe chose this particular path, we need to understand why this separation was necessary in the first place. If the connection runs this deep and means this much, why would the universe allow such a painful pause to happen at all? Because this separation isn't punishment. It's part of a larger plan, an activation of destiny itself. The pause functions as training, a kind of preparation so this love can eventually exist in its truest form. The intensity of your connection was so overwhelming that without healing and self-awareness first, it would have collapsed under the weight of its own immaturity. The first hidden purpose behind this separation is the maturing of the bond itself. When you first met, both of you were operating from old patterns, from fear, dependency, or a need for outside validation. The universe recognized that this kind of dynamic would end up clouding the purity of your love, so it stepped in to create space for real awareness to develop. This period of solitude functioned like a kind of spiritual incubator. You learned how to love yourself independently of their attention, while they were forced to confront their fears without being able to hide in the comfort of your closeness. The second purpose behind this pause is transformation itself. Destiny isn't interested in repeating the past. It wants something new, a connection that's more conscious, deeper, and far more stable than before. The pain that comes with this pause is simply the price of growth. Through this period of absence, both of you are coming to understand the true value of what exists between you. This other person's soul is recognizing that you're irreplaceable, that no other connection will ever feel quite as complete, because no one else carries the same soul agreement that you do. That's exactly why the universe keeps creating situations that remind them of you, moments where they feel the emptiness left by your energy and realize they've drifted away from their true path. This entire pause is, in truth, an act of pure love coming from the universe itself. A higher power essentially saying, I will protect this connection until both of you are ready. I will separate you in order to heal you so you can come back whole, conscious, and permanently this time. The pain you're feeling right now is temporary, but the understanding it gives birth to is permanent. A deeply emotional, motivational message describing how a destined love returns after separation through spiritual signs, synchronicities, inner transformation, and mutual awakening, leading to a conscious, healed reunion when fear dissolves and clarity emerges.